Alright, finally got that working. Welcome to my studio. I'm going to be drawing a RC Sproul design for a t-shirt. I had quite a few requests for that, and so I'm going to be working on that. It's based off of this sketch that I did last night on an Instagram live drawing request night, and so I'm going to be working on this. It's based on his quote from a question and answer session that he had, and he was responding to the church in general not understanding or not fully comprehending the holiness of God and the sinfulness of man. And so his response to that was, "What's wrong with you people?" And you can find that video clip on YouTube and get the full context there. But I had quite a few requests. I mean, this is a rhetorical question that many people ask of many different things in many different situations and everything. So I think this is a question that we can all relate to. And with that, I'm going to transition over to fixing up this design and having it work on a t-shirt. So if you'd like to join me in the chat, there's a chat next to, if you're on desktop, you can find the chat next to the video screen on YouTube. If you're on mobile, there should be a button that says chat. You click on that and you can join in the conversation. It's just kind of the fly on the wall model of studio hangouts, so this is what I'm working on today. And if the music's too loud, let me know. I can't tell how much of that the microphone is actually picking up. I guess I could test it out. Okay. Nope. I just found some royalty-free music on YouTube, and that's what we're listening to. So I'm not sure I want to use this whole image on a shirt. Maybe I will. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to copy, paste, and get rid of that background. And instead of a word bubble, he's not going to be saying it like that. Oops. Maybe I have one too many. There we go. So I'm going to take this out. And actually, I had another drawing. I did another drawing last night, which you may have seen the video for. I'm actually going to import that drawing to my computer so that I can airdrop that. There we go. Done. That was quick. Open this up in Affinity. Oh, I should update the chat. Okay, so got this. And I actually like this one better than the one I did last night. Whoops. Where is it? Sketches. There we go. I like his expression here a lot better. But the problem with this one, I think this cropping might work better for a t-shirt as well. And then instead of his word balloon, we can have like some illustrated text. Maybe. Circa Perala, if you're in Finland, correct? I think I remember that from last time. The time over there is 5 p.m. Around 5:30 p.m. So here it is 9:31 a.m. Here. And it is a brisk winter morning with no snow. Let's see, I got home this morning from Bible study and it was 12 degrees. So then I checked the temperature again and it said 10 degrees. That's Fahrenheit. So it is bitter cold. And I'm not sure I like this layout right here. I may be doing something different with this. Hey.
I was wondering if you were taking suggestions.
Yes, please.
Could you do maybe 2 shirts with this?
Yeah, why? Did you like the other one?
I did.
Okay.
But I kind of I know we talked about the name, going kind of around the picture, the words or whatever, but
yeah.
I don't know. I liked how you took out the bubble and put just the line on there as if you were saying it, but I think the Coke in the hand, without writing Coke, you can make it look red and blue.
Right, yeah.
Whatever, but there's just a lot of personality in that.
Alright, I'll work on a couple of different versions and we'll decide.
That one would look good too, probably, how you're doing it.
I just liked the face on this one better.
Yeah. Well, can you change the face on the other one?
Yeah, I can do that. It was just a sketch, so. Alright, so we got some live feedback. That was my wife. I'm going to work on a couple different versions. Sorry, I'm eating. Eating while I talk. I'll work on a couple different versions of the t-shirt design. I'm sure I like this. but I'm gonna save it. Do that. And then I'm just gonna lay this in so I can get my spacing. Do you do the question mark and then the exclamation point? I always get confused. I always wonder how that's the proper way, or is that even proper grammar to do that, to even do a question mark and an exclamation point. Alright, so let's look at this and see what we can work with here. I feel like his pose is a little too stiff here. I have not met Sproul personally. I have not really even been to any conferences, but his work has impacted me quite a bit. I'm thankful for his ministry, and I'm very thankful even for this video that this quote is taken from, because I think he brings up a really good point about us not really understanding or not quite grasping the holiness of God and the sinfulness of our sin. And I think that's an important aspect of Christianity that many churches tend to gloss over. And so in response to that, he says, "What's wrong with you people?" So I wonder if there's a way that I can copy that, just the head. There we go, yeah, I think that'll work, if I can do that. So right now, in the process, I'm just piecing together different sketches and reworking some of the flow of the anatomy. So this just feels stiff to me. I want it to flow more, not like that, but like I want you to be able to feel the movement in the image. So sometimes, I'm gonna have to look at my video screen here. Sometimes I'll look in the mirror or like take pictures of reference photos of like different poses or whatever. So like with this, he's like, "What's wrong with you people?" So I'll have to look at my camera screen to see how this would play out in his body language. "What's wrong with you people?" Okay, I think so. That gives me an idea. I know, kind of silly, but it's a peek into. So I think I'm gonna turn his body so he's not facing head on to the camera. That's Oops, I'm on the wrong layer here. That's kind of a no-no. To have a character face head on. It's too direct, too formal. It's not, I guess it just comes down to just not being interesting enough. So when you have a 3/4 angle here like this, there's a little more interest. The non-symmetry of it, the asymmetry, I guess, would be the correct word. The asymmetry of the 3/4 view gives a little more intrigue to the image. So I'm going to go with that. Actually, this arm, I'm gonna stretch out a little bit more and bring it in. So I also switched up the proportions on his body here as well, on his cartoon body here, to give him a little bit more, hey Brian, give him a little bit more of a cartoon character-ishness of him. Oh, we've got YouTube ads going on during our music here, so I'll mute that. Hope you don't mind if I eat while I work. It's a regular work day for me. I just happen to have the video on now. Okay, so I need to thank my wife for this suggestion of keeping this pose, but adding the new head to this one. I think this works a lot better now. So oh wow, what is it? What'd you draw? What?
It's a circle thing.
A circle thing, okay. Can you close my window, please? We had a visitor. Okay, and do I bring his shoulder in front of his ear? I think so. I think that works. Hold on, I gotta close the window here. Ooh. Whoosh. Alright, so yeah, I think that'll work, putting the ear behind and all that. Almost like he's his head is like tucked into his shoulder there. It gives the motion of him. I don't know. It feels like you can feel the movement there a little better than what it was before. So here's just a quick comparison of the two different poses. Here's the one I started out with. See how it's more straight. It's head on. It's interesting, but I felt like it could have been more interesting. So now we've got a little bit more movement. His knee is bent here. His shoulders coming up over his face, and he's turned 3/4 now. So it gives a little bit more interest to the image. So if we were to just as an example, if we were to break it down to the structure of the drawing, we could go like this. So he's facing that way, kind of. His so we have that as opposed to that. So we have symmetry here in this pose, and then we have asymmetry here and more movement. So that makes this one a lot more interesting to me, and I think it works better as a drawing. So that is why we're gonna go with this one. So now that I have the sketch figured out, I need to figure out the placement of the text. Now, typography is not something that I am very skilled in, but it's something that needs to be done, and so I'm going to do it. Sometimes I'll choose a font to use, but I think this time with this phrase, I'm just going to draw the text, and we talked about possibly splitting it up between the top and the bottom like that. Forgive my sloppy handwriting here, but I wonder also what it would look like just underneath. I don't want to do too much on top. I feel like if the whole phrase was on top, it would be too top heavy. Hey Chad, thanks for joining the chat. Yeah, typography is definitely something that, it's like the bane of my existence. So I'm going to, and usually when I draw the text, it ends up being the same font over and over again in everything that I do when I draw it. Hey, you guys should all go check out Chad Cole's channel. Also, he's another talented illustrator. He's got some awesome designs for some disc golf discs. Let's see. What's wrong? Or I could have him saying it, but I could decorate the text as if, what in the world is going on here? Oh, I've got the wrong brush on. Decorate the text as if do you guys hear that music? Is it too loud? Oh, it just stopped now, so. Eating my breakfast. It's more of a brunch snack than breakfast, though. So I'm gonna do something different. I'm making the text a little thinner. I wonder if making it thinner and not so thick will make it feel a little better. It lets, so with the thinner text, it gives it a lot more with the thinner text, it gives it a lot more negative space. I feel like it helps it breathe a little better. Sometimes I get too thick, like I think this is even too thick here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Kids running up the stairs. Always freaks me out. Yeah. Chad says he likes the idea of drawing the letters. Gives it a similar feel to the artwork. Yeah, that's a good point. When you draw the letters, it helps tie in the text to the rest of the design as well. I'm going to create each word as its own separate layer so that I can move them around a lot easier. Oh, and I need to finish this one. Well, and I'm wondering, I should probably have quotes around these words too. Oh, more YouTube ads. Time to shut those off. That's a good point. Brian says you can turn your handwriting into a font. Yes, you can do that. But sometimes, even when you do that, it still feels static and less organic. I like the organic feel of drawing it based on the image that you're working with. And sometimes you don't always want to use the same font too, so but that is an option. And I've tried to create my own font with different font makers and things like that, but I haven't been happy with the results. So now we'll get the next word here. I feel like that needs to be a little wider there. And I want to change, I'll have to remember to change the other W as well. Yes, circa I do draw with paper and ink. But I draw more with the computer. Because I do freelance illustration, I need to be able to, and that's my full-time job, I need to be able to get things out, pumped out fast, and because of different features that make it easier, like the undo button and the redo button, and saving, and like being able and not having to scan my artwork, I use digital most of the time for drawing, just so that I can get things done faster and get it sent out to clients in a timely fashion. Chad says, where can we find the work that you do for clients, like being able to see artists' other work, to see their range? My client work and all the stuff that is not RefTunes related is on my website, paulcoxillustration.com. I'll type that into the comments. I don't know if that'll turn into a link or not. Probably not. But yeah, paulcoxillustration.com is where all of my other work is that is not RefTunes related. And even with that, I need to probably update it with some more recent stuff. So I'll figure out the placement once I'm done drawing the rest of the text. Chad says, my website has been under construction for a year. It has a link to my Facebook page that still has a beach setting as the background. Maybe 5 updates from last year. That's funny. Yeah, I lose track of updating my website. Especially with all the social media and everything that I need to keep up with and all that jazz. Sometimes things fall by the wayside. You ever think about how weird people is spelled? That O is just strange to me. Piapple. Alright, let's do some rearranging. I'm going to try staggering some of these. See what that ends up looking like. And actually, I'm going to try a perspective tool here. I should try that on this one too. "2020, the year of the scheduling in time to make a schedule." Bubble. Bubble. Yeah, it is fun to say bubble. Okay. Let's try. That sounds like a ukulele. We've been learning to play the ukulele as a family. That's been fun. I've always wanted to learn to play that. But one thing we have learned is that most people that play the ukulele pronounce it ukulele. So I think we're saying it wrong. How's this? Does that look too sloppy? I'll color. These will be a single color. Brian likes the word wobble, So get some quotation marks up here as well. And I don't think I'm going to put all right, thanks for stopping in, Chad. Have a good meeting. Hope it's fun. These need to adjust. Does John Piper know that you have made so wonderful picture of him? I have no idea. I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna rearrange some of these a little bit more here. Got kids at my window trying to say hi to me. All right. Ah. I guess that's the end of that playlist, I think. Oh, video paused. Continue watching. Yes. There we go. I need to take a quick break. Some friends of ours, their baby is in the hospital with RSV, pneumonia, and MRSA. So we're going to go out there and pray for them. And if you could join me in praying, that would be wonderful. So I will be right back in just like a minute or so. So I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, I'm back. Thanks for your prayers. My wife just got a email from our small group saying that one of our friend's baby is in the hospital still with RSV, MRSA, and pneumonia. And the baby was just born in December, so it's kind of a hard time right now for them. Alright, I'm going to get back to this, and so I like this design. I like the I think maybe with like a circle in the background here, a circle of color. No, not our baby. It's some friends of ours.
With your watercolor paper.
Okay. Thank you.
The drawing.
Where to put this? There we go. Okay, so now I move on to, now that I have this design here, I'm going to move on to the finished line art, and then from there I'll move on to the color. So we go, I need to find in my layers palette the image here. Okay, and then I turn the opacity down, so now I can go in with the brush and create a solid image from this. And I need to use this here. Whoops. Alright. Now once this line art is done, I'll add flat colors. Flat colors are the base colors, the solid base colors that I add before doing the shadows and the highlights. And I do all of these on separate layers in this program, which is helpful. Which is another good thing about working digitally. Is you can separate your work into layers and turn on and off the layers. Good question. Circa asks, what is he drinking here? Well, in my other 2 drawings that I did of Sproul, he was drinking a Diet Coke. So, in a lot of videos, I noticed he would always have like a drink next to him, and apparently it was Diet Coke. So I drew him with a Diet Coke, and people who knew him got a good kick out of that because they knew he'd always like to have his Diet Coke. I'll type it into the comments just. Oh, my battery is low on this thing. Where's my cord? Dust off of there. What? This is the wrong cord. Well, where's the correct one? Hold on. I gotta find the cord for this. The battery's dying. I thought I had this cord up here, but apparently I had the wrong one. Oh well, I guess I just won't use it for now. Oh, this is the one for my GPS. That's strange. Alright, I guess I won't be using this then. Unless, I wonder how much. Oh, it says it's 75% full. And we'll just do that to denote that it's Diet Coke so that we don't need to put the actual name of it on there. And Hi. Alright, so now we've got that line art done. Let's do the text. Hey, please don't do that. Oh yeah, I was gonna change this to be pointy. If you didn't see the video I posted this morning of the time-lapse drawing video of Sproul, you can check that out also. It's on the RefTunes YouTube channel. I got a new program, and in that program it allows me to it has a setting where it will record your drawing. It will record every stroke of your drawing and create its own time-lapse video. So it looks like a speed drawing of whatever you just drew. And then you can save it and post it. So I'll probably be posting a lot more of those in the coming weeks. It's just a fun, I think it's fun to see that kind of thing, so I'd like to share that. So, I just thought of an important note based on today's drawing. Is that you should always do multiple idea sketches before you begin on the final drawing, and ask people for their thoughts on your sketches. Because the first one that you think of is not always the best one. It sometimes takes 3 or 4 or 5 different drawings to get to, or sketches to get to a design that works. And this one may not even be the best design. I don't know. I like it. I think it works. I like the haphazardness of the text. I think that helps get the tone across. The tone of how this saying goes. And I'm not going to add a name to this one because it is kind of a generic phrase that many people say. And I don't want to limit it to only people who know the situation. Of course, I'm kind of doing that with the Diet Coke in his hand, but I think this phrase could go with a lot of different situations. So I think it's best to leave it nameless. And in doing that, I may just take the quotation marks off. I don't know. Still thinking about that. forgot that I paused the music because of the YouTube ad. And I muted it. It's done for. Okay, now I need to color these in. Do it the quick way here.
My name is Shay, and I have a condition that I
So I'm using the lasso tool. Someone might ask, why don't you just use the fill tool, the paint bucket tool? And I can show you why. I can tell you why, but I can also show you why. Of course, it may be different in this program. Okay, so when you use the fill tool, it only fills up to the line that it sees, and so it leaves this extra stuff. What I want is I want it to overfill into like the center of the line, so that I don't get this this halo line thing. So when I use the lasso tool, I can get everything covered like that. If I were to use just the paintbrush tool, I could do that just fine. Takes a little bit longer, and there's possibility of like going over like that, and I don't want to do that. I want it to fill just the area because I want to keep the line edge the way it is. So that's why I'm using the lasso tool. I use the lasso tool as well to do to lay in all the flat colors. Once I'm done with the line art, I'll go around the character and do that for the flat colors as well. And I can just do the lasso on multiple letters here, and then I can just fill them all at the same time also. Oops. I think my coffee has gone cold. Do you guys have that problem where you get so focused on something that the coffee in your cup or the tea in your cup goes cold? I do that every day. Like, I'll get so into my drawing I'll forget to take a sip, and then it goes cold. I guess that's why they have those insulated tumblers, which are nice. I don't like all these songs that have the words in them. I just want music. So that... Ooh, I see a spot there. You drink it cold. I don't like cold coffee or tea. Well, iced tea. I like iced tea. But cold coffee, iced coffee, I don't really like iced coffee because I drink my coffee black. I don't put any creamer in it or anything. So when it gets cold, it's just not that great to me. If I do get an iced coffee type of drink, though, I do like that to be flavored. That's the only way I'll drink an iced coffee drink, is if it's flavored. And my favorite flavor is mint mocha, peppermint mocha. So I do have a bottle of peppermint stuff that I can put in my coffee, and then we've got some chocolate syrup that I sometimes put in there along with some milk, but I don't do that very often. You drink cold black coffee? Ugh. Ah. Speaking of black, what just happened here? Cancel. Oh. There we go. Oh, I'm on the wrong... No, I'm not on the wrong layer. There we go. Speaking of coffee, okay, let's see. Yep, that's cold. So, what I do, we get this handy dandy contraption here, which has a brand new handle on it, made by my son. So it's nice, and I dropped it out of my tree stand while I was deer hunting one year and broke the handle right off of it. I don't know if I got a deer that year. Probably too noisy. Oh, so that keeps my coffee heated up so that I can reheat it in my cup. I do have a Yeti that I use sometimes to keep my stuff warm, but I usually just use that on long trips. Suppose I could use it in here, especially in the winter. It doesn't stay too warm in here when it's cold outside. I think it's like 12 degrees outside right now, which is a first. It's finally getting cold this winter. We've had quite the warm weather around here. Although it doesn't compare to 2 years ago, or maybe it was last year, I don't remember, when it got down to negative 40 degrees. We had a heat lamp out in our chicken coop, and it was supposed to be heating up the water, the chicken's water, keeping it from freezing, but it didn't work. The water was still a solid block of ice because the temperatures were just too cold. But the chickens survived, so that was nice. Hey, Wendy. Oh, you just grounded up the deer you got in November. Nice. Yeah, we love venison here too. But I did not get a deer this year, so that was disappointing. I didn't even see much of anything. So do you do all the butchering yourself, or do you take it somewhere? Well, from what you said, it sounds like you do the butchering yourself, which is something I've been wanting to learn how to do. Because it would be a lot less expensive for me. Because right now we take ours somewhere. Although the place we take it to is really good about making sure that the deer meat you get is actually from your deer. I've taken it to other places where you don't know whether you got your own deer or not. And I'll never go back to those places. But that's really cool that you guys can do that yourselves. I've heard it's not as hard as it seems. Ooh, German sausage, that would be good. The place we take it to, they offer to mix in a little beef tallow, beef fat with the venison, because venison is naturally quite a lean meat. And so we did that for a little bit, but recently we've just been getting it without the beef tallow, and it is so nice when we cook the meat. If we get it ground up into ground venison, we don't have to drain the meat at all, drain the oil at all, really, because there's like no fat, because venison is so lean. Oops. Can I ask where you guys hunt? Where your husband hunts? I'm up here in Wisconsin. We usually have really good hunting, but I think this year the season it started too late, because it always goes over Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving was so late this year and it was so warm, and all of the Amish around us had their corn still up in the fields, so the deer it wasn't cold enough, so the deer didn't really have a reason to be rummaging around for food during the day. It was like 2 weeks after the rut, so the bucks weren't even chasing the doe. The deer just weren't running around. They weren't moving around. They had no reason to. So sitting up in a tree stand or in a blind just felt kind of pointless, because I didn't see anything. We have a book box, one of those little libraries outside of our house, and someone very kindly left 2 really nice hardcover books. One of them is a recipe book with all kinds of venison recipes in it. It's called Duck Duck Moose, or Buck Buck Moose, I think is what it's called. It has all kinds of recipes in it for cooking venison. The other book is a history. It's from the Wisconsin Historical Society, and it's a history of deer hunting in Wisconsin. And I started reading some of it. It's quite interesting. That is amazing. You shot it out the front window of your house. Did you just happen to see it standing out there and then grabbed his gun? That is something that I aspire to. We'd like to be able to get out and get some land of our own. Out in the country, mainly so we can have more chickens, because we're in the city and the limit is 4 chickens that we can have in the city. So it would be nice to get out and have our own land away from city limits. The land that I hunt on is my grandparents' land, and it's about 150 100 acres or 140 acres. I'm not sure exactly. There are two properties. One of them is 100 acres. The other one might be 40. But it's up about 2 hours north of where I am right now. And he was glassing from there. Not sure what that means. Or was he like looking through his binoculars? So I've never hunted on public land. We've always just went up and hunted on my grandparents' property, which is surrounded by Amish, who we occasionally catch on our trail cams wandering through our woods. About 50 yards from the house. That's pretty good. Yeah, the last 3 deer that I shot, they were only about 20 feet away from me. Thanks. Need to make those white, otherwise it'll be transparent on the shirt. This. Same with this. I need to make this white, even though it's already white with the background. The shirts, they will be ready later today. The shirts on my website are connected to a print-on-demand service. So when you order the shirt, the company prints it right there and then sends it out. So I don't have to order any shirts. They all get printed and sent out from the print-on-demand service that I use. So I don't actually see any of these products, but I do know which shirts are good quality shirts, because I used to work as a screen printer in a screen printing shop printing t-shirts. So I try to use the best quality, which usually ends up being the Bella Canvas t-shirts. Those ones are really good quality, they're soft, and they make nice t-shirts. So yeah, hopefully later today this should be available.
And to eat.
I'm not sure. It's a good question.
It's the age-old question.
The age-old question. What do you want to eat?
Are you even hungry? I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry. I'm always hungry. Do you want to do salad? We can use up the rest of that romaine
I know, but we don't
for
have
salad.
meat.
We don't need meat.
What are we gonna have? It's
I say that as we were just talking about venison. I can cook some of the chicken.
no, it's frozen.
Oh,
We're
it's
gonna have to
frozen.
do it for dinner.
That's right. Well, what about the bacon sausage?
With what?
Mix it about like potatoes or something, mashed potatoes with the broccoli and cauliflower.
I don't think they have any of those. I think they ate them all.
Oh, we just have the stuff that's left over in the
Oh,
fridge.
we'll do celery. Add celery.
Celery. Okay.
Oh, right, celery.
Okay.
Do you want carrot and apple juice?
Yes, please. Oh, one more spot that needs to be white before I can continue. We always have such a hard time figuring out what we want to eat for lunch or dinner. It never fails. We always ask, what do you want to eat? And I always say, pizza. All right, thanks for stopping by, Wendy. Whoops, what color am I doing here? So now I'm laying in the shadows here. This is always a fun part of these drawings. Except for the t-shirts, I don't do the painterly style of coloring that I do for the Reftoon comics. Because I think for t-shirts it works better to have just the solid coloring. And my program is getting a little choppy here. Close. Oh, I should probably save this before I lose it, because that has happened before. I'm going to close some of these things. There we go. All right, Brian, thanks for stopping by. like that choppiness, but I don't want to. The only way to fix that right now is to quit my program and restart it, but I don't want to do that right now. Oh, let me look at these other things. Did that. This one doesn't need to be open. Coffee. I don't know what I just did. Close that one. And this one can close. Save. Hopefully this one. Oh. Well, now that I'm not using the marquee tool, maybe it's being a little bit more forgiving. Maybe not. Alright, so. Oh no. Guess what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quit that and try to open Affinity back up. See if that fixes my lag problem. Oh, it's supposed to open on the second display. Display 2, not display 1. There we go. I just open recent. And voila. Oh, did I do this on the wrong one? I did. This is gonna be too small for a shirt. I'm gonna have to live trace it in Illustrator. That's fine. It can be done. That'll just take some time after I'm done coloring to do that. I'll just make sure I do all of these shadow colors separately. So uh-oh. Didn't sound good. color. Too dark. Almost done, and then I'm gonna head out to lunch. And then I'll finish the coloring to the outside of the live video. And then I'll post it in the RefTunes store. So just look for a post later today on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, whichever one you're using most. Make sure you follow RefTunes on those channels as well, so that you'll be notified. Oops. I have to do all these on separate layers because I have to live trace it in Adobe Illustrator once I'm done. That means I turn all of the colors into vectors, all the artwork into a vector, so that I can resize it without losing the quality. And one more detail, and that is the highlight on his face. Nope. All right. That does it for now. And then I will tweak it a little bit more. Once I'm done eating. So thanks for watching. This design will be up on reftunes.shopify.com sometime later today, hopefully. And I'm going to change some of the colors with the words. They're not going to just be black. I'll probably put a circle behind him or something, so it doesn't look like he's just floating there. Probably a shadow underneath him. And then I'll make it available as a t-shirt, maybe as a print. And then we'll go from there. So don't forget to subscribe to RefTunes on YouTube. Follow RefTunes on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think that covers them all. And you can find more of the comics at reftunes.com. So thanks for watching, and let me figure out how to end the stream here. I will